All right, so this is our second session for just foundational core stabilization, core activation, and core strengthening exercises. So this is a good starting point for any of my postpartum women out there, but as well as anyone else who is just struggling with, prolonged core instability or just feeling like they don't even know what their core is. So this is a really good video for you all as well. So we're gonna start today, and like I said, this is a second video in this series. So if you haven't seen the first one, I would recommend trying that first because it has a lot of our foundational movements and a little bit more explanation on how to do some things. We're gonna kind of speed through and less instruction in this video. All right, so if we will, let's all start laying down on our backs. Leg position does not matter to me. They can be straight out long in front of you. They can be bent up. I don't care, whatever feels good to your body today. We're gonna start with our breath work. So we're gonna start with one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. And we're gonna start with our chest breathing first. So as we breathe in through our nose, that chest lifts up towards the ceiling. And as we breathe out through our mouth, it draws back down into us. A few more here, breathing in through the nose. Out through our mouth to lower. In through the nose. Out through the mouth to lower. One more here. Good. Let's move down into our diaphragmatic or our belly breathing. As we breathe in through our nose now, we want the belly to rise up towards the ceiling and then drop back in, pulling in as we breathe out. In through the nose to lift. Out through the nose to lower. Excuse me, out through the mouth. In through the nose to lift. Out through the mouth to lower. Check in here and be sure that that top arm, that chest arm, is not moving as we breathe in and out. Focusing on really mobilizing at that diaphragm. Good. Let's move our hands to the outside of our rib cage to work on our east to west or left to right lateral breathing. So as we breathe in this time, we're taking those ribs out side to side and pulling them back in together to the midline as we exhale out. Inhale in. We expand east to west. Exhale out. We draw in towards the midline. Inhale in, out, east to west. Exhale out. Draw those ribs back into midline. One more for me. Inhale in. Exhale out. Good. All right, so now we're gonna go into our pelvic mobility, our pelvic tilts and our pelvic movements, okay? So if you need to make your pelvic triangle, go for it. Just a reminder, that is, the palms of the hands are on the front of the hip bones. The fingertips are down towards our pubic bone in the front. Thumbs meet towards the middle, pointing towards each other. 12 o'clock is up by the thumbs. 6 o'clock is down by the fingertips. 3 on our left, 9 on our right. All right, meet me with those knees bent up for this one. Let's tilt down towards our 6 o'clock. Back up to neutral pelvis, where all of our landmarks are parallel and flat towards the ground. We have a small space in the low back of our spine. Tilt forward towards 6. Back to neutral spine. Forward towards 6. Back towards neutral spine. Let's work on our breathing here. We inhale as we tilt forward. We exhale as we come back to neutral. One more round. Inhale as we tilt towards 6. Exhale as we come back towards our neutral. Now let's go towards 12. As we go towards 12, we exhale out. Inhale as we come back into neutral. Exhale as we imprint that spine towards 12. Inhale as we bring it on back to neutral. We got 2 more here. Exhale as we go out. Inhale as we come to neutral, last one. Exhale as we stay out. Inhale as we come to neutral. Now let's move into our left to right. So we're moving over towards 3. Back towards neutral. Over towards 3. Back to neutral. 2 more here. Over towards 3. back to neutral, over towards 3, back to neutral, over towards 6, back up towards neutral, to 6, excuse me, I want to say 9, 9, back to neutral, over to our right to 9 o'clock on the clock, back to neutral one more time. Sorry about that. Back to neutral. Let's put each of the tilts into a bigger tilt. So starting at neutral, we're going to inhale as we go towards 6. Exhale as we push all the way over to 12. Inhale as we come back to neutral, down to 6. Exhale as we tilt all the way through to get us back to 12. Good, maybe back in that neutral pelvic position. We're going left to right full, all the way over to our 3. All the way over towards our 9. Don't worry too much about your breathing. Don't overthink it on this one. Just in and out control with each movement. Good. Maybe back at neutral, and let's go with our marble rolls. Try and get to all numbers on our clock. Let's take our number over towards 3, down towards 6, over towards 9, imprint to get to 12, over towards 3, down towards 6, over to 9, up to 12. Reverse it for me. Over towards 9, down to 6, over to 3, up to 12. Last round. Over to 9, down to 6, over to 3, back into 12. Good. Shake things out. If you need to just extend everything, pull the knees in, whatever feels good to you. Just reset a little bit. Good. Maybe down with those feet back on. We're going to go into our articulation bridge. So from here, we're going to tilt the pelvis down to 6. Inhale here. Exhale as we imprint the spine towards 12 and slowly start pulling the spine up one segment at a time into our long, strong, flat and straight bridge. From here, we're going to start at the top and lower ourselves back down. All the way, start at the top. Each segment lowering one at a time until we get back to that neutral spine, weight into the glutes. Good. Inhale to 6. Exhale towards 12 and we peel off. I like to think of the peeling as like a piece of Scotch tape, and it's long, and we slowly start pulling it from the bottom all the way up, and as we get to the top, we start from the top and lower it, sticking it back down onto the mat. Perfect. Let's do one more. Letting you feel your body down towards 6, back towards 12. Peel yourself up all the way up. Glutes are engaged really strong in the back when we get to that tall bridge. Lower yourself back down. Good. From here, we're going to go into our jellyfish or our Kegel pelvic floor exercises, however you want to think about it. So as we talked about last time, we think about our jellyfish as they move through the water. They kind of drop down and pull up, and that's kind of how they flow. As we engage the pelvic floor muscles, I want you to think about pulling that jellyfish up. Exhale to lower our jellyfish right back down. We're going to hold this one for 5. So pull on up, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it right back down, gently and slowly. Pull back in. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release back off. Check in with yourself this next one that you do. As we pull back in, check in to see, are we overactivating in the glute muscles? Are the booty muscles tightening up too much? You might have a little activation, but truly it's not our focus. And release back off. Good. Give me one more here. Pull up, 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 up. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release back down. I forgot to tell you, but if you have any kind of yoga block, that's excellent. If you don't, it's fine. No big deal. If you will, though, if you don't have anything near you, pause the video, go grab something small, such as like a decorative pillow, anything small, a roll-up sweatshirt, anything. We're going to be placing it in between the knees to squeeze into a little bit. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Stuffed animal, ball, anything that'll just give you something to press into. Okay, so pause the video and go get that real quick, and then meet us back down in that starting position. So with this, we're gonna have the block, the ball, the sweatshirt, the pillow, whatever we may have in between the knee. We're still gonna work on our jellyfish, but as we pull in with our jellyfish, I want you to gently squeeze your knees into whatever you have between them. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release both our jellyfish and the pressure on the block or whatever else is between your knees. I'll use the term block. Pull back in with your jellyfish. Hold 1. Squeeze in with the knees. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. We've got 3 more here. Pull the jellyfish in. Gently pull the knees into the block for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release back off. You got 2 more here. Pull all the way in for 5, 4. Gentle pressure into the block. 2, 1. Release. And last one here. Pull up our jellyfish. Squeeze into the block for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Take your block or whatever else is between your knees. Set it to the side. Go ahead now, and I'll give you the options of where you like to feel your transverse abdominal contractions. Do you like it to be a little bit lower, right where those rib cage, below your rib cage start there? Or do you like it to be in between those front hip bones, sliding in just a little bit? Find wherever you feel you get the most feedback, okay? So from here, let's work on just transverse abdominal engagement. So we're thinking about pulling the belly button down to the spine, not sucking in, but wrapping our abdominals around to suck us in like a corset. We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release back off. A good test too with this is that I want you to eventually, so continue practicing through that, squeeze it in, holding for 5, 4, good, is to be able to talk while you're doing it. Can you, breathe? I don't want you guys holding your breath whatsoever. Release off. Can you breathe and talk while you're still holding this abdominal contraction? Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. We've got 2 more here before we start adding on our steps. Pull in, scoop in, corset around, belly button pulled in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Last one. Activate that TA. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Perfect. Let those legs go side to side. Bring them into your chest a little bit. Rock in and out if you need to just reset for a second. Good. Legs are right back out. Now, from here, we're going to add on. Scoot myself just a little bit. Good. All right. Find wherever you want to get your feet back in if you need it. Activate that TA. Take that right leg. Slide it all the way out. Pull it all the way back in. Good. And switch to the left. We slide out for 3, 2, 1. We slide in. 4, 3, 2, 1. We got 4 more each leg. Slide out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide in. 3, 2, 1. Opposite leg. 3, 2, 1. And in. Check in with those abdominals. Have you lost your TA activation? If you have, reset. It's no big deal. Just reset yourself. Get that activation going again. Then add in your slides once you feel stable. Good. We've got 2 more each leg after this one. Slow and controlled. And like I said earlier, if you're really not a smooth slide going in and out, feel free to do this kind of like on the edge where you're kind of on the hardwood. Good. Last one on that opposite side. Pull back in. Pull those knees into your chest. Rock side to side. All right, now with this one, we're gonna add a little bit into this. As you take your leg out, we're activated here, you're gonna take your opposite, or your same arm, and extend it back up. What can happen here is we'll start seeing like
some rib flares. So where those ribs kind of open up, you can see where mine starts to do that there. If you pull in, it goes away with that T activation. So don't want that. Don't want that rib opened up. Pull in, activate here, and pull right back up. So that arm is gonna go straight up towards the ceiling as that leg comes in. We're gonna do 5 on one side, then we'll switch, okay? Extend that arm out. Keep this activated as that arm goes out the opposite direction because they're pulling against each other. Slide back in. Good. Add some breath work as we extend out, we breathe in. And then we breathe out as we come back in. 2 more and we're switching. Extend out. Breathe, exhale out as you pull the hands back in. Last one. Extend out. TA's activated. We don't have that rib flare. We're all pulled in. Exhale as you come back in. Perfect. Let that arm fall to the side. Bring your other arm up towards the ceiling. Extend that leg out. Extend the arm back. Good. Pull yourself back in slow. Still stay with that 3-second extends out. 3, 2, 1. We pull back in. 4, 3, 2, 1. We got 3 more on this side. Extend out. 3, 2, 1. Pull back in. Exhale your breath as you pull back up. Inhale as we extend out. Exhale as we pull back up. Last one. Inhale as we pull out. Exhale as we pull back in. Now for this one, both arms are up towards the ceiling. If you need a rest break, take one. Both arms are up towards the ceiling. Let those both legs slide out on your mat. Pull them both back up to get back up. Inhale as they extend out. Exhale as they come back in. Inhale as they press out. Exhale as they pull back up. Inhale as they push out. Exhale as they pull back up. Good, and take a rest. Got a little hamstring activation in with that one. All right, doing great. Arms go up towards the ceiling. Activate those transverse abdominals. Pull the belly button down into the spine and pull those transverse abdominals around like a corset. Bring one leg up towards tabletop. Then switch to the other. Drop that first one that lifted down all the way to the mat. And drop the other. Switch now which leg starts. Left leg lifts to tabletop. Right leg comes to meet it. Drop the left leg down. Drop the right leg down. Right leg lifts up to tabletop. Left leg comes to meet it. Drop the right leg down. Drop the left leg down. One more here. Left leg lifts up. Right leg lifts up. Left leg lifts down. Right leg drops down. All right. Take those legs out left to right. Reset as we continue to progress. Remember our rule from last video. If we are feeling any stress in that low back region, that means that our back is either not ready to support the load that we're giving it, or we're not activating ourselves. We're losing this hold with our abdominals and causing the stress in the low back, forcing us to kind of dump into the low back region, okay? So, 1 or 2 things. Increase your activation. See if that helps. If it doesn't help, take a step back to whatever exercise we were doing before we made the next progression, okay? So, from here, arms are up towards the ceiling. Lift a leg into tabletop. Lift your other leg into tabletop. We're doing those toe taps. 1 toe taps down. Lift it right back up. Switch to your other. Okay, we've got 5 each side. There's 1. Remember with this, we're staying in that neutral pelvic position. There should be a small gap between your low back and the mat or the floor at this time, okay? So we're not imprinted in, but our abdominals are turned on. We do not feel this in our low back, okay? Pull back up. 1 more each side, okay? Right toe dips down, taps the mat, comes right back up. Left leg drops down, taps the mat. They both lower back down. You can help them there if you need to. Perfect. All right. Go ahead and grab on to whatever you were using, okay, between your knees, and place that back in between your knees. Let's take the arms down to our sides so we can use them for a little bit of support and a little bit of lat activation, okay? So gentle squeeze into whatever you have between those knees. From here, engage the abdominals, lift both legs into tabletop, okay? Hold, lower back down, tap the toe, lift back up. Lower back down, tap the toe, lift back up. This is a pretty progressed move, okay? Even though it seems so simple and easy, if you're feeling it in the low back, go back to doing those single leg toe taps down, and we'll get here when we can. Give me 2 more here. Last one, I want you to hold it up, okay? If you're doing the single legs, bring both legs up into tabletop as long as your back feels okay. From here, hold a strong tabletop position. Lift your head, neck, and chest off of the mat. Lower right back down. So from here, what I want you to do is keep the distance between the chin and the chest as you lift. So I don't want any of this, okay? Keep the distance between the chin and the chest. Lower back down. Lift, hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. We've got 4 more. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. 3 more. Lift up. 3, 2, 1. We're really engaging those upper abdominals as we lift the head, neck, and chest. For 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. Last 2. Hold up. Check in with that chin and chest. Do we have that space between it? Right back down. Last one. Good, good, good. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Drop yourself back down. Take the block out to the side. Take a little rest break. We've got 1 more here before we go into some different stuff. All right. So from here, if you need to do it 1 leg at a time, regardless, get me back up in that tabletop position. With this one, zip those legs together. Toes are pointed towards the opposite wall, okay? From here, I want you to give me little circles with those legs, okay? Doesn't matter which direction because we're going to do both. Almost like you're taking, think about you have a pin going through your big toes and you're trying to just draw a good little size circle on the wall. And that size should be a little bit bigger than a softball. Good. For 3, 2, 1. Change me directions. For 3, 2. Last one. Good. Lower back down. Take a nice little rest break. Okay. If you do, grab a band. If you do not have a band, I want you to go and find a belt. So pause the video and go and grab a belt out of the closet, okay? If you don't have either one of those, go grab a towel, okay? And meet you back on your back when you've got that. So both legs are straightened out, long on the mat. Take the band, the belt, the towel, whatever you have, place it around the ball or the arch of your foot, okay? My leg is very tight today, so please don't judge, okay? So from here, we're gonna go into a little bit of leg circles, single leg circles. The goal of this is not necessarily to stretch. So I see people all the time, they're doing these huge circles and da-da-da, but everything in their back is moving when they do it. Our goal is pelvic stability. That's the reason that we're doing this exercise, okay? So what I want you to do is go ahead and activate those transverse abdominals, and then we're gonna gently pull our foot across our body. We're gonna let it go down. And my band is not very bandy. I'm gonna grab another one, okay? Pause the video. That's be much better. All right, so I'm gonna let my leg fall across my body slightly. The goal is to not let this hip come off of the mat. It stays implanted. Then we're gonna go circle down towards my other foot. Up and around, gently, toes pointed out towards the side as we come out, and we head back up towards the center. Let's do 2 more. Across the body, down towards the feet, over, out, away from the body. Toes are externally rotated out, away from us, back towards the center. One more time. Over, across the body. Check in with your abdominals. Are they engaged? Is your pelvis flat? And is the only thing moving should be that femur in the hip socket. Opposite direction now. We're going to go out towards the side. And it's not a big movement. It's very slight. We're not going all the way out here. Just a slight movement. Drop all the way down. Meet around to your other foot. Sweep back up. We've got 2 more. Continue your breathing. Be sure we're not holding our breath. Last one. Check in. Is your pelvis rolling everywhere? If it is, make your legs circle smaller. Good. And switch your feet. Good. Opposite leg is straightened out now. We've got that band, belt, or towel right around the ball and the arch of the foot, okay? We're gonna start with pulling across the body, down, small circle up towards the top. 2 more here. Check in with your body here. Is the pelvis engaged? Is the pelvis in line? Like I said, I'm stiff as a board today, but that's really not the purpose anyways. I just feel it in my hamstrings. Good, meet me back up at the top. We're going opposite directions. Out towards the side. Down towards the legs. Up towards the ceiling. 2 more. Last one. Check in with yourself and doing this last one. Be sure the abdominals are engaged. The pelvis is completely stable. We're not rolling everywhere. Right back up towards the ceiling. Take that band out. Throw it over to the side. Roll yourself on up. Meet me on your hands and your knees. So another really good one I like are knee hovers, and that's what we're about to go into. Because with this exercise, I feel so much engagement. I feel my quads engaged, my core engaged, my shoulders engaged. It's just a really good exercise to get a lot of things going in one. So hands are underneath the shoulders, okay, right underneath the shoulders. The knees are right directly underneath the hips. From here, you're going to press with your hands down into the mat and through your toes into the mat and lift your knees slightly up off of the mat. We're going to hold here in a hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop those knees back down. With this, I really want you to keep your back straight. As if I put a glass of wine on it and it's not going to tip side to side. We would just stay straight up towards the ceiling. All right. Same thing again. Lift, push through the hands, push through the toes, lift those knees literally like 1 to 2 inches off of the mat, depending on the length or the length of your arms. 4, 3, 2, 1, drop back down. We've got 2 more here, and then we're gonna add on a step. Press back up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop back down. Last one. Put yourself away through the hands, through the toes. Engage the core. Back is straight. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back down. Go ahead now and grab your block or whatever you were using to go between the knees, a pillow, whatever. Hands go straight underneath you. Block is in between the knees. Toes are curled underneath. From here, press through the hands, press through the toes. Squeeze into that item between your hips. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back down. This helps with that deep pelvic floor engagement. That adduction into that really helps stimulate you to pull in our jellyfish as well. Last 2, push through the hands, push through the feet, squeeze into the block, engage the core, pull up the jellyfish. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back down. Last ones. Push through the hands, push through the toes, squeeze into the block. Core is engaged, pelvic floor is pulled in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back down. Take that block away from you. Take your hands underneath and push them back to you so you get a little bit of stretch in those wrist flexor or wrist extensors. Give them a little love after having all that pressure on them. All right, so let's cool down a little bit with a lot of good mobility here. So we're gonna start with our hands underneath us again. Knees are underneath our hips, hands underneath our shoulders. From here, we're gonna go into a little bit of cat and cow, which most of us have done at some point or another, but if you have not, it's no worries whatsoever. So we're gonna start as if we have a string coming through our mid-back and someone is up on the ceiling, pulling you like a puppet to pull that mid-back up towards the ceiling. From here, drop the head as if you're looking down towards your chest. Tilt the pelvis in, so we got one big arch motion. Now drop everything back down into your neutral position. And now think about somebody just stepped right in your mid-back, and now we've got to drop into where they stepped. So we drop into that mid-back. We pull and tilt the pelvis forward to stick our bottoms out. We lift our front chest and we lift our head towards the opposite side. All right, maybe back up in neutral. Let's add some breath work. So as we pull back up into our arch, the puppet's pulling us, we're going to exhale out. Inhale as we drop in. Exhale as we switch. One more each direction. Exhale as we go underneath. Inhale as we extend. Good. Drop yourself back into a child's pose. Extend those hands out long out in front of you. Today I want you to separate. Whoa, my hair's everywhere. Separate your knees wide from each other so you can really go down deep into this and get good hip mobility, a little bit of external rotation and flexion out of it. Good. Really extend. Think about somebody's on one side of the mat, pulling your hands that direction, and then I'm behind you, pulling your hips the opposite, so to really get some good traction in that spine. Good. Pull yourself back up. Now, from here, I want you to take one leg out in front of you, and the other stays directly underneath you, okay? From here, you can put your hands on that front knee. I want you to just lean forward towards that front knee, keeping your chest up high. Just try to get a good stretch in the front of this extended backwards legs, hip flexor. Good, big breaths in and out. Come back up towards neutral, switch legs. So that leg goes underneath you, the other leg comes out in front. Hands go on top of the thigh. Lean yourself forwards. Good. All right. Now meet me in a W sit position. So, or to do our W hip mobilities. Z sit, I guess, is really the position. All these letters, who cares? Anyway, so I want you to have your right leg, inner thigh down on the mat. The left foot is going to come up and be on top of that right thigh, okay? So from here, I'm going to turn my body a little bit so you can have a good idea of what we're doing. You can use your hands a little bit to get started. We're going to lift the legs, rotate them open, drop back down. So now we're in that opposite position. Left leg's down, right foot's on top of the left thigh. Use those arms if you need a prop, and then switch yourself back over. Just working a little bit of hip mobility here. And switch. Now, if you can, take your hands into a prayer position and do this without using those hands to help you. Good, and switch. And one more each direction. Ugh, I'm like inching my way off of the mat. And switch. Good. Last one I want is legs straight out in front of you, arms straight up towards the ceiling. Drop them to shoulder height. Pull yourself forward like you're taking your fingertips towards your toes, but they're staying high and elevated up at shoulder height. So don't let them drop down like we're touching our toes. We're really focusing really here on our spine more than anything, even though we do get a little bit of hamstring stretch from it. So arms extend out. Think about I'm behind you with that same string as we talked about, and I'm pulling you back that direction to get a good C curve in your spine. Stack the spine back up. Let's do 2 more here. Hands extend straight out. They're reaching for the toes, but the back is reaching back towards the opposite direction. Pull back up, and we've got 1 more here. Push away. Fingertips are up at that shoulder height. Arms are up at the shoulder height. C curve in the back, pulling the opposite direction. Stack the spine back up, and you guys are good. So again, just these are very introductory exercises for core activation, core stability, core strength, but they're excellent for absolutely everybody to do and get a feel for things. So hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and we'll continue to progress each session.